when you look at it on a daily perspective, it always starts for me, as we talked about with the daily chart. I have Bollinger Bands up here, 20 period, 3 standard deviations. When I look for a good low is when we're hugging the bottom Bollinger Band. You get a candle similar to this. It doesn't need to be exactly like this, but you had a low where the market didn't really close on it, right? A lot of times when we close on a low, typically the low will be the next day, right? Or the following days. So I like to see a low that's made on a candle from a daily perspective, and then that Bollinger Band starting to come back in. To me, this is a really, really good low right now. I've talked about this a lot. I mean, I'm not just saying this right now because we've been rallying. You can go back and look and see everything I've talked about. I think that this is the low that eventually takes us to all-time highs. I write about it every day. And I'm very bullish because of this low. And I think it's a good low because of a few reasons. Number one is we went from overbought, basically, we're grinding higher, to a rotation back down, range expansion lower, to nearly an oversold. Well, really, we did reach oversold on an RSI. Bollinger Bands came in. We held above my 30%. I talked about this. Now we're establishing about 50%. I look at this on a bigger picture level. This is a great low. Okay. Now, let's take it to the short term, where a lot of us are trading and say, okay, how do we find good lows or good highs on the shorter term? And I start off with a 30-minute volumetric chart. And what I like about the volumetric chart is I like to look to see what markets are doing when we're making just highs or lows. And I just want to look at the net delta of the price action. So what that means is when you look at the highs or the lows, you want to see this offset of strong buys or strong sells on a bar and a market rotate off of it. This was a good high. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is you saw the market go up and make a very strong move. And then the volume bars were really strong to the buy side, heavily weighted to the buy side, and the market rotated lower. Right? So this is step one. When you see this, you can look at it as a tug of war or a contest pushing, right? Like where you're trying to push or pull something. When you keep going, right? If you have more strength, let's think about it from a pushing perspective, right? If you and all your guys get together and you're trying to push something as hard as you can that's pushing back at you, and you've now giving it everything you've got, and you can't go any further, what is going to happen? You're going to get pushed back. You're just done. Right. You're out of energy, right? So the buying pressure came in and it just failed. So the market goes and it rotates back low, right?